now. Okay. All right. So, uh, everything is working, but I wanted to. I wonder if I can rotate the screen. I think it might be too late now. Let's see if I can- yeah. I guess it's too tight. Oh, wait a minute. I guess I could try. I guess I can't do it. Well, it's working. Oh, but it looks like it's rotated, but it's not rotated. If I go like this, it's rotated. Okay. Oh my, what in here? All right. Well, okay. 3 people are watching. Okay, I have to make sure. Um, what I'm doing here is I'm talking about Lauren. Zoran, not Lauren. Wait, 8 people. 8 people are watching. Wow, okay, interesting. Um, so um, I made a video yet last night to explain what I was doing. Um, Everything seems to be stable now with it. Okay, with Zoran. Okay, yeah, I even know there's some talk of Zoran 19. It might be beta testing. I have no idea. 18 is working, and then we were able to bypass a lot of features and get the browser to work. See, that's the browser. Okay. There's no way else to do it. I can't put the camera where I wanted to put it because it's the way the room is set up with the gym equipment. So this is the area I can work in. Okay. When you're setting this up, make sure you have a plan. Okay. You want to create it into an NAS, so your whole PC is working as a NAS. You still can run the PC and do other things on it, but the primary focus is running as a NAS. Okay. Make sure the drive is formatted. Make sure you know what size drive. Maybe you have several drives. You want to do RAID. Everything just mimics one. My hair's a mess. But decide what you want to do and plan it out. Then it'll work the way you want. Um, Hopefully you're good with Linux because you're gonna need it because it's not something like hey you can press a button, it all done for you. You have to do it. You have to install the samba and it'll come wherever it's coming from, the depository it's coming from, and then it's set up. Then you configure it and everything. It's a lot of work. It's not easy, but it's working now. We went and tested out on the. Um, I tested out on Chrome OS. Yes, Chrome OS. there's a file sharing mode with the soundbar. It's hidden. I don't know why all these little things are hidden. Same thing with the Mac OS too. I have to get on the Mac and change it. I'm gonna have to reinstall the files. What happened is when I backed up the other system that I had on Windows, and then I went to hook it up to the computer, and we couldn't get into the Zorin on shared drive. So I know. I wanted static IP. There had to be a way to do it, so I was able to do it. I don't want to do it on the gateways. We have two gateways. We have the fiber and we have the T-Mobile. Talk about those another time. I'm not mixing stuff up. But the thing is this: once you get everything set and straight, you should be able to use your NAS and store your files. I want to create an open public directory because when you go to a business, um, and you go work on different people's computer, you're gonna type in and pull in um, fixes like print driver interface, not just the driver. There's an interface, like the Canon I have. There's an interface. Girlfriend could not print out labels; they were coming out crazy. And her HP, her brother business laser printer wireless, we couldn't get it to work. It was working, then it stopped. You know, okay. So you know what the culprit is on that one. That thing in the window. So I had to go back to access points. I have dual access points for the 2.4. I'm telling you, if you're gonna want Wi-Fi 7 or anything like that on on the TMO, okay, okay, you're gonna have to do some um, jerry rigging. That's what the word is. In other words, hacking. Because if you don't do it, it's not gonna work. Nothing's gonna work. She couldn't print. She went crazy, and I thought everything was working. It was. So what happened? We won't know because of that. So I had to go put the access points back up again, and everything was disconnected. And then we plugged everything into the mesh too. Woo. Took a chance with that one. Um, but that's working. I don't have a separate network. If I kept Xfinity, then everything would just work. But that's another expense. Trying to keep the expense down. So the NAS is working. It's able to connect to all the Windows PCs, the Chrome, the Mac OS. And I was amazed how it connected the Mac OS a little different, but it connected it. You know, everything is working. You can send files. I can send my music that I created. I have full version of the music. Send it out and put it in the unit, so I can go to another computer and pull. I can pull it from the Chrome OS. I can even pull it from this. I'm gonna put in that Linux box up and running because I think what's gonna end up happening. A lot of us who have Windows OS boxes are gonna find out, they're not gonna be supported. And you say, "Gee, I have an i5, I have an i7, I have an i3, I have so many cores and so many different threads. And, you have so much RAM. A lot of you can't afford. Unless those you can buy new computers, but they're expensive. So you're gonna have to decide what you're gonna want to do. I say back everything up, and the drive you want to use for Linux, you're gonna have to make sure it's formatted. Really not formatted. It's blank because it saves time. It depends. I ran into a lot of snags, but I was able to get it straightened out. So it's working now in the background. Because I didn't because when we first did it, it was a media server. And the second, it went to a NAS, but it was on the wrong drive, the OS drive. No, 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 we have a drive. And now it's pointed over. Well, at least I see how it's done, and I can, I save notes and take notes and save everything. And if you catch things fast, you can fix the problem. So download the Zorin. I'm not promoting them. I'm just telling you. I mean, I could use this Mint, this Poppy, Pop. There's different versions. Each one has their own feeling. So you should just use what you feel used to. I'm just using Zorin because it looks just like Windows. Oh yes, and I have to use. Yeah, let me log out of this here. So, to make it stable, I had to do another thing. Let me just mention that. I don't think I mentioned that in none of the others. Let's see. I don't know if I can get there. uh, log out. So I'm gonna log out and I'll log back in. Log out. Some stuff I can't show because then you see how the system is. I knew it went back to the same way again. It's supposed to be. There is a gear. So there's a gearbox. I don't know if I can show you. Hold on. Let's go this way. See right down there? There's like a little. Hold on. See? Right here? It says Zorin Desktop on XORG. That's how I have it set up. Because for compatibility. This system here seems to be we lost people again. See that? Hold on a second. This computer was a different kind of a computer. I mean, it had Windows on it, but it's more geared towards Linux, the way it's set up for Linux. Meaning that it just seems to work better with Linux for some reason. Okay, so all right, we're back in here. So if you have a computer and you don't have what you need for running Zorin, well, I mean, you have the basics, but you run into you can't the browser's freezing, so there's a fix for that. Okay, you have to disable the GPU feature in the browser, and how do you do that? You have to run. There's some scripts you have to run. Might not have that handy. Let's see again. I can't stand how this thing is working. You type something in it, it's nothing to do with that. No, 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 no. All right. If you can get back in without touching the browser, so you open up the terminal and you put Brave dash browser space dash dash disable dash GPU space dash space dash dash disable dash software dash the riser really Raster. Oh, that's amazing. I don't remember seeing that one there. Wow. See, every time this thing here, I'm telling you, every time you ask our friend here, it's the command is always different. You're not imagining things. Both things can be valid, but they solve different layers of the problem. Let me clear up the suggestion XOR before and why disabling GPU in Brave is a different approach. Okay, so Zorin has two servers: a Wayland, newer default on many systems, XORG/X11, older and more stable browsers plus GPUs. Yeah, I tried Chromium. Chromium wouldn't work too. It crashed. I have to pick up this script. See, he has a different way of doing it. It's a shame. That's what happened with the setting up the NAS because it was different. You have to know what you want. Now we know there's a media server in this built in. We need to not go through that again. You got to go through a NAS. You got to find out the file structure. It's gonna how to pull up the file structure. If you're good with this is great. If you can't do it, you have to get help. I can, there's only so much I can do and show you. Um, it's a lot though, and to get it to work right. TrueNAS, the free one, won't work on certain computers, and that's what I found out. But now this is working. And say you go the simple route. A simple route. Oh, so you can. So basically, if you so you don't have to do what I had to go through. You can click on the gear. When you log in, there's a little gear that appears. You click on that and select Zorin Desktop on org, and that should take care of the problem with Brave. It should automatically set. I don't know. I haven't tried it that way. I just disabled it under the other way, and then go into it. But he said there's a Wayland GPU bug in the 18. It was available in 16 and 17, and now also 18. That's why a lot of you might get in and have problems. So when you when you first log in, there's a gearbox on the first page. You type in your password or whatever it is you set up, and then before you do that, gearbox. So click on the gearbox and change the desktops to the second one. Then log in. A whole new desktop will appear, and the taskbar will go on top. You want to bring it back down. You have to go into the settings and switch it around. Then it'll work the way you want. That would avoid a lot of issues. I wonder why they don't really explain it, because that's the problem that I found with Linux is, it's not straightforward. Chrome OS is a whole different ball game too. Chrome OS, if you have Chrome OS, you can make it faster. You have to go into the browser and go into experimental settings and change some settings and add some. But you don't add some features, just change a couple of settings that would speed up the way it is. Otherwise, it'd be sluggish, no matter what CPU you got in there. I've done that. I don't know what y'all. I've seen a lot of you are into the Linux, and that's the alternative for us now. So we're coming from Windows and going into Linux. It should be easy, right? Cat's always on me. The thing I'm another cat. That's why I look like this. Anyway, besides that, I just try to help and make it easier for you to understand. So the NAS is working on here. Like I said, I can go to the Windows PCs. Wireless. Everything's wireless. This whole NAS, this is what the NAS, this is the NAS. This thing here is the NAS. Okay? That's it. Right. I still have Windows on here. I can switch. When I boot up, I can hit F9 and switch to the Windows boot. It'll boot up into Windows 23 too. I can get 25 in here. It will not work no matter what I do. It's the motherboard I want to switch. I'm not spending all my money on this. This is how it is. This works. We have 6 SAT. We're gonna hook up six drives to this unit. So it'll basically be 5 drives plus the OS drive. Okay. So that's what this one is capable of doing. So this is a little different from the one in the other room. But the other one can run 25 too. I can also run Zorin now since we know how to fix it. Okay, so until the 19 comes out, or those of you who are able to better test that. Okay. If you're gonna use Chat GPT and you want him to help you with the NAS, you have to tell him you do not want the media server because they'll set up the media, and you don't want to use the OS drive. You got to tell it. Otherwise, it's gonna think, it's gonna do it anyway. And then you can get screwed, and you have to do it all over again. Say this is not working right. And make sure if you want that each share has to be programmed for you with the password. So you have a share for you. Maybe you have a business partner. You have different share, and you have to set them up because you don't want people going into your folders. So you have a password on that. It's not the same password you log in. It's a separate password. So you got a password for Mary, Betty, Tom, Fred, and they all have different shares. Share 1, share 2, share 3, and whatever you want to call it, like that. Then you got the printer drivers too. You might want to have an open share where you would go to their computers and then you pull the driver down, right? And because you already put the driver in there, you should have a system folder for tools like all the drivers and things you need if you can't pull it down. I don't know. On here it's a little different. On the Chromebook, I just set it to the IP address the static IP address, and it was able to take it. I went to print something through their spreadsheet because it's like the Chrome is almost similar to this. This is more open. You can feel free with the Chrome. You feel like you're locked in, and you really can't do anything too much. It's because it's all browser based. It's not you can't do anything else. I mean, you can open up the desktop and click on certain things, download certain things from the Chrome store, but you can't do some. I can't side load applications. I can't take out the OS and just put anything I want on it. To do that, I'll have to take it apart and disable some stuff inside the motherboard and get another firmware to do it. Yeah, so they don't make it easy. Anyway, remember, there's a learning curve to this stuff, so be prepared. That's all I can say. I just like to let you know what's going on there. Um, okay, I don't think I need to communicate with this. Okay, I can get out of this. Close all. All right. What's the next project? Well, I'm not gonna. I know a lot of you might like Mint, and you should be able to do the same thing on Mint. I mean, they're all running the kernel, the Linux kernel, and there's U2 and there's different versions, and I don't understand. Because when I used to do all this stuff way back in the day, it wasn't easy. But now you have help. You have ChatGPT, or you have one of us. But nobody has all the answers. And there's a lot of command codes you're gonna have to know. But the sudo is very popular, and that does a lot of stuff. So that's remember that. But you have to know the triggers. And there was a lot of back in the day. There was a lot of work for a Linux person. If you had Linux knowledge, but they're gonna throw heavy words at you. Well, okay, what's this for, and what should you do this for? How would you install? How would you update the system? How would you do it? You can't say, well, you just hit update. No, you have to write the command. Well, the update here, like for instance, Zorin, I might click on. There should be a button here for system update. Oh, okay, here it is. Under system, the software updates. Let's see if there's any updates. Update software updated software is available for this computer. Do you want to install? 30. Oh, no, install it then. Oh, nothing. So, just like with Chrome, there's always going to be an update, patches and fixes and stuff like that. That's how you have to live. You might say, gee, every minute. Mac OS had the same problem too. I was surprised. And iOS too. Now you're going to say, gee, how do you get the printer to work? Hopefully the printer works with Linux. But it should work. You get the IP address, static IP, and you add it in there. And you point to it. It should work. On this one, I haven't tested it yet, but the Chrome OS had to test it and it worked because the printer wasn't working. Now it's working. I just told her it's working because my Canon printer works on the network. I don't know. We haven't tried it with this yet. I'll have to test it out. So those are the main things you need to know: is get your printer. Your maybe have a plotter. A plotter is a printer. It prints larger um, posters and banners and stuff, larger image quality. I used to install and put the plotters on the network. I used to do all that stuff when I was doing HP. Okay, software is up to date. Oh, I see what it did. It took the system's name and put here. Okay. I have 1 TB. It says. Oh, that's good. Oh, okay. So I have an A4. I know about it. It's a 3420 APU with Radeon HD graphics. Oh, okay. Good to know. Firmware 7.15 for Zorin 18 installed, 64-bit OS. The only thing I don't understand about this is if you want to tweak it to go faster. I just feel like it could go faster for some reason. Uh, the networking, I don't know how the networking is set by default because everything's set to balance. I mean, don't get me wrong. I clicked on Brave. It came up 1, 2, 3. No, 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 no. I want to tweak. See, when I used to do when I program under Android, I was able to tweak the network um system. What does it say? NCLI show connection. Hmm, let's see what that does. Oh, wait a second. Terminal on the Zorin is under utilities at the bottom. Terminal is your best friend. I think on Mint is right on the bar. You can actually put it on the bar too if you're coming from Mint. So the command is MNCLI. You have to type. Okay. Connection show. Oh, okay. I want to tweak it. SNUDOET. Wait a minute. I don't know. That's for Ethernet connection. ENTHHOOL interface. Full duplex. No, 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 no. It's Wi-Fi tweaks. Tweaks. No, buffer settings. No, buffers. Buffers and what's the commands again? I can't remember. It's supposed to be no CPU, I think it is. Or is it no NPU? It's for offloading the CPU and use the NIC card CPU, which is They have buffers. I'll have to research that and see what's going on here. When I did the Android, what happened here? Faster packaging delivering. What's this? Net.core.net dev underscore max underscore backlog equals 1000. Okay, this might work for me. Hold on. Control copy. I want to get into the NIC. We call it NIC, so it'll be wireless NIC. Okay. Oh God, what is it? Something's wrong with the family? What? Every time I do something, come. What is it? Hungry already? Didn't we just feed you there? Assume. I still think the cat should have an automatic feeder. uh, put the password in. Oh, I see. There's not much here for this. Okay, the ENT microprobe for the CON, the configuration file for the Wi-Fi. Let me maximize the screen. Maximize. There's not much in here. Oh boy. Here we go. Save power 0. Wi-Fi disables the CPU wake ups. Really? Just type that in. Oops. Options. WIWLWIFI power space power underscore save equals 0. Options IWLWIFI UAP SD underscore disable equals 1. Disables the CPU wake ups and gets smarter responses and uploads files. Okay. Disable RSP feedback packaging steering. The RS spreads work across CPU cores, good for servers, bad for legacy. Alright, well, we are running a nano, so I'll leave it alone. What's this say here? Restart network manager. Less CPU usage, better firmware offload, lower legacy. No, device in quotes. Device. Okay. All right. Let's try. Okay. We're gonna do research on this before we do anything with these settings because yes, you didn't know that. See, wonder when I used to do Android and programmed Android to make tablets and make the phone run faster, there were settings in there. A lot of they had the settings what we have today for AC. You know, the future of because they already predicted what was going to come. So I turned some stuff on because back then it was 802.11, I think N or G, trying to tweak the CPU. I tweaked the memory, I tweaked the CPU, and I tweaked the overall the GPU because it was running sluggish, and a lot of users used to complain. So I figured out how to improve it. I actually created my own UI. That means user interface. Okay, back then. So now we should be able to tweak the network settings because out of the box these OSs are set to default, and you know they run like crap. Crap. Yes, they run. Same thing with Windows. Did the same thing. I changed the next settings to the max. I wanted to run fast. You're gonna play games. You're gonna do whatever you're gonna do online. You need to run it properly. Another thing too is configuring the RAM. I don't know. I don't know. I have to see how this thing here. Oh, it's going into other things. Jumbo frames. That's Ethernet cable. So jumbo frames. If you got the wired LAN hooked up into your computer, you can increase the frame rate with the jumbo frames. There was a limit. I used to play around with that stuff. It does work. Well, you know, I'm not. I'm using Wi-Fi now, so it's a different story. Yeah, see, he said wire speeds go from 1 gig to 2.5 gig to 10 gig. 10 gig, use them in 7, and 2.5 would be like around 1.3, 1.5. So it's a gig and a half. Okay, so you got to figure for every gig was 600. Okay, so 2.5. You have to do your math in your head how that comes out to be. But yeah, my matrix does not matter. No risk to the server. I know there's no risk. Yes. So you want to save power, so 0 for the power saves. Remember, this is you're taking your risk on this. Don't come and say. And then you disable the buffer. I don't want to disable the buffering, but then to improve on it. I have to look into this more. I'm gonna make some changes. Let's see what I did here. Let me get this out of this. I mean, I can leave that in there. If anything goes wrong, I can always take out. Okay, so to save that setting there, oh yeah, there's one more setting. Oh, okay. Hey, that's a different file. All right. All right. This one's saved. So you hit Control to save this. What I put in here, I put options IWLWIF uh, I. So it's options space IWLWIFI space power underscore save equal 0. Okay, and then the other option was options space, same word again, IWLWIFI space UAPSD underscore disable equal 1. Now, control 0 and hit enter, and then control X, and then you're out of it. Man, I have to learn Linux again. There was no chat back then. There was no AI. You had a lot of code, a lot of stuff. But anyway, that's fixed for this. It should reboot the system. And that's it. Actually, let me save what he said here. Right click on the browser, save as. It should go into the documents. And I'll just save it as Wi-Fi configuration. Then hit save. That's pretty much it. It's not that hard to do. You have to copy the whole thing, try to drag it in, and print it out. We should get the printer set up on this though. Let me see. See if it works. Settings. Multitask, power, network, Bluetooth, sound, apps, notification, online mouse tab, printers. Here we go. Add a printer. It should be like Chrome OS. Yeah, see? So what I have to put down, let me put it. Oh, wait a minute. It's not going to find it because it's on, shoot. It's going to be on a different server. Yeah, I won't be able to do it here. I should put both the team, well, everything, the T-Mobile control, well, the T-Mobile gateway. What I found out with the 5G AR is just like with the 4G AR. Remember that gateway is doing everything. It's pulling in the cellular signal, and then it splits out the Wi-Fi out. You can, a lot of you might have it doing everything, but that's the wrong way of doing it because you want to offload it. When you put everything on it, it's gonna treat the 2.4, the the 5 gigahertz band, and the 6, which is for the Wi-Fi, all as one. And you're gonna say, "My God, why is my phone is showing 2.4 and I'm getting only 300 and something down and up?" Yeah, because it's gonna prioritize the 2.4. When you separate it from its own into other devices like access point, you have to run a wire. A lot of you want to use mesh, but the mesh is just making itself known in other parts of the house, so the signal is stronger and you don't have those dead spots. But if the mesh can hook up two access points wired, so we have a two identical access points, then inside that you can set those up for 2.4 and let the T-Mobile handle the 5 gigahertz and the 6 gigahertz speeds. Because if you're gonna have it do the 2.4, then it's gonna degrade your other speeds, and you're not gonna get the true speeds. Okay? That goes for everything that's wireless. The same thing with the fiber gateway box too. I don't have 2.4 disabled. It's only doing the 5 gigahertz band at 160, so I can have faster speeds. I don't want slow speeds. I can't wait. No, you want fast speeds. And you're in the hot when you have all this on the system. You have T-Mobile. If T-Mobile drops, the fiber is supposed to kick it. If the fiber drops, T-Mobile kicks in. You see what I mean? So it's backfill, or like that. Both of them. It's work. I'd rather have it that way. It's terrible when you just have cable network in the house, and if it goes out, you're kind of screwed. You have nothing else to back to. That's why it's good to have these. That's why a lot of you You know, when it was cheap, you buy it. It might be not the best, but hey, they serve the purpose. Um, but they do more. This one, unlike AT&T doesn't have no amplifier for their cell service. So this one is the only one that has an amplifier. So if you go with T-Mobile, you have cell phone, the phones get amplified. They go from the 1 to 2, 3 bars. You go up to 4 bars. Sometimes you hit 5 bars. It depends. Yeah. So I'm talking about the cellular signal, not the Wi-Fi. So that signal increases. So your mobile data signal increases. I don't know if a lot of you are familiar with that. When you go in the store and you ask them things like this, all they know is how to set up the phone. They don't know nothing about the internet. They're clueless, especially on the phone. You talk to tech support, they're clueless about the text. They don't know what the mesh does. They didn't know there was a mesh 2. I told them why you need a mesh 2. And I'm going to get into it now, but I'm just telling you. So that's how all this works here. I'm tweaking the NIC card to perform better. Let me reboot this. I saved this already. Okay, I don't need that. Close all. And then we're going to reboot you should reboot the system for it to take. And if you have any problems, you can go back and just take it out. What's this? Okay, we're going to restart. Restart. That's it. This only have 8 gig of RAM. When you have more RAM, you notice this runs a little faster. But Linux doesn't need a lot. That was the whole point of using it over Windows. Windows, it's the DOS and what you see is what you get. The the GUI, the graphical user interface. Okay, that's what's using up a lot of RAM, and the way they have it jerry rigged for all these years. So where Linux is, they changed the code and then they create an interface for it now. They're getting like Windows, and that's why a lot of you are going here because you don't want to be working in just binary only. Binary is this text space. You get confused. A lot of them, that's how they started Linux and learned it. Okay, I'm back in now. It should run now a little better. Let me have to think the password. And there's 2 passwords. Password login. When it says to verify your password, that's the password you use. Then you have the password for the NAS. Okay, password for the NAS for the shared drives. You should lock the shared drives in. You shouldn't have it wide open. The only one I would have open is if you're the administrator and say, hey, we need a tech to come down. We want to add a printer to our environment. It needs to be set up. You set up the printer, and then you have that each person. You have to the active server directory, or go to the machine itself and add the printer and the driver. You pull it from the server. Okay. So you would have all that set up already. So all I do is click on the interface, and for the Windows machines, they populate. Like the Canon needs its own interface. I have that, and it was populate the interface. So because the Canon, you can do a lot of things. You can change the default DPI. You have DPI for the graphics and print out. So mine is like 600 DPI over 1,200. Otherwise, it only defaults to 300 DPI to 300 DPI, and the picture qualities are terrible. Okay, this seems to be working. It shows me that the fiber is not as strong in here. Well, yeah, that's the thing. Where the cellular is stronger. I don't have a mesh for that. I'm gonna increase my 1 gig up and down, which I'm getting 1.3 now. But up is still 1 gig. It won't go higher. That's it. But down I can get higher. To 2. Try 2. If I had the money, I'll have to go to 5. It'd be nice to see what 10 gig would give me. When I get 10 up and 10 down, that's 10 gig. So a 50 gig file would go a little faster. It takes me like 29 minutes in a 50. With 10, it should cut it down to maybe 5 or 10 minutes. I know it's hard to tell because I don't have it. There's no way to test it. But that's a lot of money. You're talking about like $2,000 a year just to run that. Okay, seems to be working. Let's see. Well, I should be able to show you what I'm doing. Let's see. I'm gonna get here straightened away because we have the gym equipment. No, I don't want that one. Let's run the channel. Does the channel load faster? Okay, better than what it was. Another thing is, could I run SD Made Pro on this? No, you can't. I already found out. So you can only run the apps they got in the store. Yeah, like for instance, you, but the problem with Linux, Android, and Chrome OS, those three, and all these Linux things, they get fragmented. And the fragmented, you say, well, I have SSD, I have memory um, chip to running this stuff. Yeah, but they get fragmented eventually. Dirty, they call it dirty code. That was a nickname back then. I'm still think that they still have it as dirty. Dirty code means that programmed correctly and it has bugs in it, and sometimes you get problems and errors. I should ask chat if there's a way to clean it out. I'm sure there must be. Let's see, where is he at? I'm not logging into nothing. Is there a way to clean the file system? File system under. Yes, there are several ways to do it. Clean the packet cache very safely. Oh, SDU at so it's SUDOAPT clean. This removes zip files. You can also remove unused packages. Use a built-in disk analyzer GV. Okay. Clean user caches. All right. Before we do anything, okay. Before we do anything, what is safe and what is not safe? Because I don't want to have problems. Oh, okay. So SUDO space underscore APT underscore clean. Don't you? That's gonna remove. Well, it removed downloaded .deb files, but you can always install them again. I don't know about that. I don't want to touch that. Unused packages. SUD space APT space auto remove. Remove software libraries and old the dependencies that are no longer needed. Whatever you do, it's up to you. Be careful, okay? Back up your stuff. I don't know. I'm gonna look into this more before. What's this? Purge removes old kernels important for long use systems. Well, see, wait a minute. So this doesn't. So they still don't do it automatically. What? Who's crying? See, they don't clean it. They still don't clean it. They don't clean the Linux OS. So everybody, so just like Windows, Chrome, Android, Mac, it doesn't clean itself. You have to do it. And if you don't do it, it's gonna slow down. It's gonna run sluggish. You're gonna get upset. You're gonna don't whatever you do, never take the computer and throw it against the wall. Too many people do that. Why? It's your computer. What are you gonna do? But and don't smash the this. If this doesn't work, the monitor don't work. Then yeah, you can throw the monitor on the concrete floor. Well, that's up to you if you want to do it. Yeah, so nobody can try to reuse it. But Yeah, you don't you don't. I'm not saying you're gonna bury the computer in the ground, if it doesn't work no more, and give it a burial. No, I'm not saying that. I'm just saying, don't destroy it. It's your computer. I know guys that take the keyboard and smash it and do all that stuff. I don't understand. Maybe your girlfriend's mad at you and they'll take the laptop and throw it against the wall. I know it happened to me one time. And I said, I'm not talking to you no more. Next day, I got a, I got one of those tissue bags. This is yours. So I opened it up. And it was a brand new laptop. Wow. Too bad she didn't ask me what I wanted exactly because I could have said the specs better. Well, it's all right. I don't have that. I left that behind. It was all right. Yeah. But hey, got something. She apologized by getting a whole brand new laptop. They know what it is. They'll never say sorry, but when they come clean like that, um, that surprised me. I was shocked. I was mad. I'm not talking. I don't talk to you. You don't exist. Here, I'm sorry. Here's a brand new laptop. Yeah. Hey, if you like what you see, there's a lot of you out there. I don't know how many are out there because I don't have it set up with the computer. I'm not logged in here. I have to run back and go check. You know, there's a lot of you out there. It's information like this. I'm trying to improve my stuff, and I share it with you. Why not? Why do we have to hide? We're not. We're not. What do we call it? We're not. Trying to outdo each other. We're all trying to work together. That's what the problem with the tech world is. Everybody's outdoing each other, and nobody cares. Before we said, "Hey, I got 60 gigs of RAM. I got this much RAM." Blah 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 blah. Well, back there was like the thing was 640 gig of RAM, and then you don't have so much free megabytes. Sorry, not gigs. But now we all have a lot of RAM. So we're trying to, if you find this helpful, I'm trying to get up to 1,000 subscribers. I have to ask because nobody thinks about it. Gee, subscribe or not? Yeah, subscribe because here I'm giving you subs. I'm not an AI. I'm a real person. Okay. I know AI has cartoons and they have little tech running around and he's tired and all that. Yeah, it could be good. I wish I could make cartoons, but it costs money. And then it's not 100% yet. We're still learning. We're all a work in progress. We're learning from each other. Linux, you're learning. Windows, you're learning. Well, they'll be learning for a long time with Windows. They still never get the bugs out, but they still somehow patch it up. In Mac OS, and Chrome OS, they're all learning. Look how many different versions of Linux you have and different operating systems. So that's good. I mean, there's a good community, and they're trying to improve on it. Zorin is one of many. There's different ones. You got the Mint, you got the Pop. I'm not promoting anybody. Nobody's telling me, but I'm just saying that you have so many different choices. I'm just trying to get a NAS because my I think it was called ZXYEL. They stopped making NASs, and my NAS lasts. I got it in 2012. It lasts until 2018 until it conked out. It was running Linux. It was running all the time. It was running 24/7. Had a built-in fan and everything. Kept those drives cool. I never had really a problem until it died, and the company's not making them anymore. There's other companies now, but they're expensive. Well, that's just like a little computer running all the time. I had a media server. And then I have these other boxes. I don't know if you guys would be interested in. So Sony had these media players, right? And I used to buy a whole bunch of them. They used to be 250, but I was making enough money. I didn't care back then, and I thought it was pretty cool. So before the smart TV and a lot of things, you would plug the media player into your TV. It would be not wireless; it'd be wired. It'd be 10100, right? That's good enough. And you can tap into your Windows computer, which you have a whole bunch of movies on. I gotta say how you got the movies, but anyway, you can just watch the movie from your computer onto that. Yeah, remote control and everything. It's a brilliant idea they made. And they had YouTube on it, but YouTube they lost a license, so they're gone. So it's like what you got now in smart TV. You have everything you want. You just have to pay. You might have Paramount Plus. You might have Netflix. You might have um, what's the other one? Disney and Apple TV. You know, all that stuff. I was watching Netflix. I was watching 11. I think it's called 11/20/63. It's about going back in time and to stop the JFK killing. Okay, it's pretty interesting how they did that. It's a mini series, 8 episodes, I think, I believe. I've seen it before, underground, but this time I can watch it on Netflix without missing anything, so it's better to understand. Um, so I watched it again. It was watch that and watch Witcher. It's pretty and something else I'm looking at. Witcher is pretty cool. I didn't realize how they show everything on that one. But yeah, I have Netflix and I have Paramount because I'm a Star Trek fan. I like Star Trek. I don't want the ads, so I want to watch it. So I got an ad. She gets Apple Plus from T-Mobile. Netflix is where we get to. I mean, I can't afford to have Netflix with no ads. I was watching stuff without no ads. There was a way to do it. Can't teach you that. But anyway, but you know, I guess they figured it out. Some routers have features. If you buy a business router, there's a lot of features that people don't realize what you can do in there. But anyway, I don't want to say. But now it's different now. Anyway, what am I talking about? Anyway, if you like what you see, hit the subscribe button. You know, you learn a lot. I teach you what I know. I have a lot of experience. Okay, I know this could work. Okay. Oh, did I? Oh, I did say that. Did I say that? Okay. Save. Save as. Oh, I didn't save this. Let me save this as cleaning. I'm getting tired of cleaning. Okay, so this will go out. This video will go out right after this. Cleaning, cleaning, cleaning. Save, save. I learn quick. I learn fast. Like that guy used to tell me. It was a old guy, really old. I'm sure he passed away. He said, always ask questions. That's how he had no certification. He had nothing. I mean, I don't know if he had a high school degree, but he knew the computers in and out, and he was a network engineer. There's, you don't need to have to be a network engineer to have the certs. They want certs because they want to make sure you know what you're talking about. But if you have 5 or 10 years experience working on the job, you know everything. Like Scotty from Star Trek, he knew everything, right? Same thing. Think of you like that. You know everything. Linux, a lot of them had to learn it. There was no certification. There was no training. They learned on it, and they got good. They got better. That's what the money was over Linux, if you knew it. Now you're in high demand. I know a Unix admin programmer making. He showed me his paycheck. He's making 114 an hour. That's a lot of money. Well, back then, I don't, maybe he's making more now. But he had $4 million house. It was just him, his wife, and a child, and a whole bunch of laptops in there. I've been there. He said, "Hey, can you take me home?" Yeah, no problem. But where's the gas money? That's the whole thing. But anyway, what I'm saying is this. Yeah, that's it. I'll help you. We'll try the thing. Well, anyway. Oh, now on this channel here, I did some animation. It's not AI. This made it myself. So we have Space Fleet. If I had the money, I had this thing in my head to make a space fleet, and not like with the AIs they use. I'm talking about aliens, not the kind you know of, and not what they show. I have not another idea, and I don't want to even share it. So you have there's 3 aliens, right? Okay. One is more advanced. The other one is more stealthier. Then there's like this main one where they you can't stop them no matter what you throw at them. And this other culture, I'm using computer stuff to to build the ship. I have models up in the attic. I made so and they can't stop the other race because they're too advanced. Yeah, the other race who made their ships tougher. So anything that a ship the enemy could shoot at it, their ship was stronger. It's like 4 times or 5 times the plating. It's pretty cool. But I can never get that story to tell. Well, maybe one day. No, it's not like Star Trek. It's different. Star Trek, they have our ecosystem, and Star Wars, they have our ecosystem. They're telling a tale. They're all telling their own little storyline. All right, hey, thanks for watching. Hit an hour, good. So this will go out, and they'll show up on the new releases. Now, new releases, I control that tab. That's why you see live stream there. That seems to work. Yeah. I've been improve on it. You hit play all, you play everything, So it's pretty cool. And you see the latest releases. You'll see what's current this month. Okay. Then this month will turn into January, and February will pop up, and that'd be new releases there too. See, it's better that way. Yeah, the other way was just chaotic. You didn't know what was going on. But we're following a pattern, and hopefully it'll work good. You like red? Okay, so I chose red, so we have red. Hey, thanks for watching. Okay, I know I don't know how many of you are on here. I can't tell. I think those showing up like little people. You are subscribers. Some of you ran off. Okay. I know it's late. Hey, if you're on your lunch break, enjoy your lunch. Have a good rest of your day. Thanks for watching. We're out of here. Until next time. We'll be back on uh, Friday with another video. Take care. Hey, if you don't know the answer, don't tell the client you don't know. To say, hey, I'll look into it. That's what you say. All right, I gotta go. Bye bye. Oh, come on. What's wrong with this thing? Okay, there you go.